All right, so starting with Bitcoin this evening. I know it's been a couple of days since I did a video. I'm just really busy with some other things, and that might actually be the norm. So I know I was doing a video pretty much whenever we had a lot of price movement. Uh, Lately, it's been kind of boring. Uh, I was super, probably weeks ago, definitely 4 to 6 weeks ago, I was talking about how I really wanted consolidation, and that would be the best for this market. I mean, or this cycle, and we got it. I mean, we've we've been pretty much consolidating since about February, since early February. So, and we've had the yeah, I mean, we had this dip right here. We had a week of 21%, but um, maybe say March. So since like early March, we've just been consolidating between 50 and 60,000, and it's been on the upper end. We're getting this short term moving average flattening out. So, I mean, we can pull up the Bollinger Bands again, the widths, Bollinger Band widths. The weekly is trending down on the volatility. The daily is continuing to go down, and it's now flat. I'm pretty sure if I bring up the Bollinger Bands, there's going to be some sort of compression on this. And there is. So, we've had a time of, considering Bitcoin being so volatile, we've had a time of low volatility, I think, for the bear market, like for a bear cycle, I mean. So we can look back at 2017 and kind of see that, well, this is on a weekly basis. This was kind of right before the run up. Um, so let's look at it on a daily basis. So on a daily basis, no, I guess we did have, I guess we did see some volatility get really low, especially in October. So this isn't out of the norm, but it's definitely in an area where it's lower. This is July, prices around 2,000. So we're getting to the lower end, and what I think is we're getting to an area of lower volatility, so that we're gonna potentially see some big price movement. And where do I think it's gonna go? Like I said, whenever I did the video, I was like, oh, we're gonna get, I think we'll get a new all-time high relatively soon. That was the 5th. That was this day. We had 2 days of pullback. We were going up. I mean, we still have these areas that we didn't retest. I mean, if I really wanted to, I mean, maybe, and I think I drew one before. It was an ascending triangle on the 4 hour. So if I can actually kind of do it here as well again. It's about 3 points. I mean, it's not perfect. So I'm actually not gonna draw it. I thought I could, but it doesn't look like it. If anything, this looks like an inverted. I mean, this looks like a head and shoulders. I can kind of show it here, right, kind of here. So you can see these. So you're getting you're getting higher lows, and you were getting higher highs, except for this one. But yeah, you would see, like, so you can see that this is somewhat of a head and shoulders, which would be a bearish thing. So I'm gonna highlight it. So it would be here. That's one shoulder, or it could be an inverted cup and handle, right? It'd be kind of the same thing here, and then this little one right here, right around there, right? So our price target would be, if it broke down initially, our price target would be the break of this, and say we broke it here, maybe up here. So it'd be right around like 48, right around 50. So that would still kind of, I mean, and then the total price target would be the whole height of this, the head part. So say around, low 40s, which I don't think that's going to happen. It'd be so uncharacteristic of this cycle, and then all the good news and just all the headlines that we were getting. But, let me go back to this. So if I initially wanted to highlight where we could potentially fall, that'd be 48. That'd still be in line, because I think you'd get, a swift buys. But right now, I mean, we're just kind of consolidating. And I think the worst case scenario is that we consolidate. We continue to consolidate. Eventually, we're going to break out. I was looking at the funding rate the past couple of days, and even on this day, the day after that, we had a red day, but the funding rate went up, and this is, the market's net long, and we kind of counter trade this. Yes, this can go higher in the bull cycle. You can see it here. Uh, so I really wasn't really concerned, but for the cycle right now for 2021, it is relatively high. So it's starting to flatten out on the daily, which is great. On the weekly, I think it's still kind of high. But I mean, this could trend higher. 4 hour, I think it's starting to go high again. Um, so we'll see. Our moving averages are really condensing. In times like this, uh, whenever you have lower volatility, your moving averages can sometimes give you false signals because they start to just basically condense together. And right now, I know we trade sometimes on this 30 MA. It's above it. That's good news for the most part. On the 4 hour, I mean, right now we're exhibiting a reversal candle. On the daily, they kind of are condensing. I would, this day that was a pretty big drop. I mean, it's 3%. It's really nothing in Bitcoin terms, but for a market that's starting to become maybe uneasy and wanting higher prices, these days, this is 4 or 5%. Those days actually, I guess, start to become more painful. But keep it into perspective that, man, we're still high. I mean, this is crazy. We're consolidating on the upper end of a rally, which is very good news. You could maybe say that this is also a W pattern here, right? So we have like an inverted head and shoulders. We have a W pattern, which would be a bullish type signal, and then that would be the break of this somewhere around here. I really wouldn't be. I mean, yeah, where would we reach new all time highs on the break of, 59? That move isn't large, but whenever you have low volatility, and people are trying to trade momentum on these breakouts, and a lot of them are probably getting cleaned up right now, that'd be only a 4% move, but that could be enough to take out this resistance and then head higher. And where would our target be? It'd be pretty much the upper end of that Fibonacci, which would be right around 70. But you could base it off of the pattern that you identify. And then that, you could say that that's where your target would be. So somewhere around, say here, somewhere around, 68, so around 70. And then we'd have to reevaluate. So, but that's where we're at right now. Consolidation. We can look at the CMF. I think I already said that I really wish that the market would go net short with the funding rate. Bollinger Bands decrease volatility, which means I think we're going to get some movement soon. There is this pi cycle moving average that is probably going to cross soon, probably within another day or two. And historically, this has been good to pick the top, I think, within 3 to 5 days. Is this going to break this time? We'll see. I think the Bitcoin's getting a lot more attention this cycle than it ever has, and there's a lot of expectations of it going to 100,000. So it's almost like the crowd expects it to go to 100. So it probably won't, but I'm not gonna take that saying. I'm gonna rely on my indicators, and right now we're consolidating on the upper end. We're starting to get conflicting patterns, so we have to be mindful of any drops. I think I would become neutral to my stance on neutral to bullish would change if we get price go below this 30 MA, which would be about 57, and then to get this 8 MA start to price below it and the 8 MA to cross below it, which would kind of be somewhere like this. But then we saw, price. So this is early January. We saw a resurgence. This was around 33. But that was a little different because the funding rates were still kind of, I mean, it went negative. And then we had a big positive one, and then we had a reversal candle consolidation. We went higher. So, but let's look at the CMF. So CMF had started to trend up at that time right here. No, it's going down. Here we're going down. It's flat, but we're starting to get some uptick in it. Still not extremely, you know, bullish. I mean, this is actually this is hidden divergence, right? So this is bullish hidden divergence, which means a continuation of the trend because we're getting higher prices on the bottom end and an indicator that's diverging, which would indicate a hidden bullish divergence. I always got to check myself, but I've been doing it long enough. I'm pretty sure I have these things memorized. But yeah, so that's a continuation pattern. Um, I have to think through it a little bit, but so yeah, so we're getting conflicting indicators. I'm gonna go on maybe my Mayer multiple bands. I think if we get a break, price is starting to move sideways. I think if we get a break of this, which we haven't had since we broke out in December, I would maybe change my stance to you know maybe neutral bearish, because especially that'd be below 53. So maybe it's just this cycle's so different. It's starting to get a little bit more difficult because we're getting conflicting top indicators that have been so good for so many years, but then other indicators that have also been so good for so many years. So something's going to break. Something's definitely going to break. There's going to be some models that break. Stock to flow is still saying we're going higher. Mayer multiple band is still saying we're going higher. Golden ratio is saying we're close to the top. The pi cycle moving average is saying we're close to that top. We're consolidating on the upper end. Usually that's good. We can look at on balance volume real quick. I think I'm spending too much time on this, so it's probably best to just say neutral to bullish. Hold your positions. That's what I'm going to do. Again, whatever's on this channel is not financial advice, just my views. But maybe if you took out this on a daily close with my indicators trending down, you get an RSI that's probably still in the middle, but breaking down, say, somewhere around 40, but we're breaking down price here, and then we would shoot maybe to oversold. And then, if we visited this mid 40s, which is perfectly possible, that we revisit these mid 40s and still keep our bull cycle intact. What would that do here on this? That would bring us right into the middle of these bands. So we're going to get some movement soon. I mean, I'm definitely going to say this low volatility is not going to stick around for. I don't think it's going to stick around for another 2 weeks. 2 weeks in Bitcoin's an eternity, and we've kind of been here for, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks already. This isn't going to go on for another 5 weeks. I don't think it's going to go on for another 2 weeks. Consolidation. So we'll see. But yeah, so some other things. Gold actually moved. I know I was a couple weeks ago. I was like, okay, gold's gonna go lower. We kind of did get a down wick that came so close to hitting this retest area. We came within $2, so it's a small percentage. Yeah, 1678 and 1676. That percentage is so small. Where's my calculator at? So 1676, or sorry, 1674 divided by 1676. What is that? That's less than 1%. So that's probably good enough as far as a retracement and retest goes. Yeah, my lower target was 1600, but we're getting a bounce, and then we're getting our moving averages starting to trend up, which is starting to show a shift in momentum. And then we're getting, we actually had a daily close above the prior week's high and above, the high for the past 3 weeks. So gold is actually looking pretty good, which means silver. Now the silver chart's a little bit different. I did have a channel there as well. We're still within that channel, but we have a nice reversal candle. So if I look at my gold to silver ratio, which I haven't looked at in a while, so there might be some surprising information on it. So yeah, we're starting to trend up. Um, it's actually starting to trend up more towards gold, because right here I would buy. No. I'm sorry. It's yeah, I would buy silver. No. I would buy. Yeah, I'd buy silver here, where here I'd buy gold. So this is actually trending more that gold's going to kind of outperform silver, but there's a 9 here. So we're kind of just maybe retesting this level because we didn't get there, and then we go here, and then we'll possibly break back down and see silver start to outperform gold, which is my take, which has been my take the whole time. But we're kind of just in the middle of this, so we'll see. But I still think silver is going to outperform gold. So I actually opened a small position in silver. I've also been watching Drive Shack. It had a nice rally back. We're still within this channel. This could break out, which would give us a pretty nice return. I think it would be right around 450 or something like that. Yeah, like 450. So the return would be somewhere around like 30%, maybe within the next month. But I'm watching that again. Something I wanted to highlight. And then the marijuana stocks, TLRY has just been getting, it's almost like I'm becoming so hopeful in this, but technically the charts are not showing. I mean, I'm out of all my positions here. The oversold area is just, I think it's starting to really start to trend down and possibly get to this oversold area. There might be some more pain here, like, yeah, the 4 hours close to the bottom. We'll probably get a 9 tomorrow as well. We can pull up the CMF and see. Well, look at the hourly real quick. Yeah, so that went to oversold. We had a nice little bounce. It's already retested, and then it's continuing back to what the main trend is, which is down. So if TLRY breaks this support area, we're most likely going to hit these areas, these 13s and 11s. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's over for this sector or these stocks. I still think later in the year, these will still be extremely profitable. Yeah, there's a lot of pain, especially if you bought in this upper wick. I mean, look at this wick; it's just that's so dreadful. But long term, I still think this is great. So we'll see. A lot of these are Canada based, so they are competing for market share, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's already setting up some retest areas on the upper end. So right now, if you would got to bounce, maybe 8 to 10% potentially, but then you'd have to reevaluate once we got here to see if there's upward momentum. On the CMF, I think there is starting to show some buyers coming in, but you can kind of see, where was it? I think on the daily, where it held, and then it looked like, it went up, and then it started to break down again. But see, you're getting good support here, so maybe it's over, but it's the potential that it's not. See right here, so you're finding some sort of support where we kind of bounced, and maybe it's trending back down, because right here would be major support right around 50, and if it broke below that, and right now this doesn't look good. You're getting price closed below, the low that's had been kind of held for 4 weeks, and now it's breaking down. Really, the next area of support was where buyers came in about a month ago, was right around 18, and then price rallied. We had a nice week, 27%, and it's starting to fall. So really, the only area that's next. Oh wow, I didn't mark this right here. So this is an area that hasn't been retested. Oh yeah, it was retested right here. Sorry. So yeah, I mean, this is open air basically. Maybe you get a quick dip down, massive selling, and then it finds support around 16, which that would be a nice return. If you caught it in the 13s and then it went, it'd be like 20%. And that could happen quickly. But something to watch, maybe scale in some buys if you're still interested in this, if you had gotten out. So I think that's about it. Appreciate it, and thanks for watching.